Welcome to Chapter 2. If you enjoy this story, leave a comment, good or bad. Your feedback helps me improve. In a world where power is normal, being powerless is a crime you never committed. This is Ollie. Most people walk through this gate without thinking. Ollie walks in already knowing he doesn't belong here. They didn't call him by his name. They called him NULL. Whispers followed him like a shadow. Not loud enough to prove, just loud enough to feel. The hallway was never quiet for him. It just learned how to whisper. Not everyone joined the laughter. Some people simply made room. Then the teacher wrote 2 words on the board, ability demonstration, and the whole class woke up. One by one, they showed what they were born with. A spark, a breath of wind, a trick of water. Small powers, but enough to make everyone feel safe. And then Leo stepped forward. Not to participate, but to remind everyone who ruled the class. Even the air around him looked like it obeyed. After Leo, the air felt heavier. Then the teacher read the next name, Ollie, and the crowd turned like it was planned. Ollie copied the same stance, the same breath, the same open hand, and however nothing answered him. Silence lasted 1 heartbeat. Then someone laughed, and Leo smiled, because this wasn't a test anymore. It was entertainment. He didn't argue. He didn't beg for a second chance. He just stood there and swallowed the shame like it was routine. Leo didn't stop at words. He needed everyone to see it. That Ollie wasn't just powerless. He was allowed to be touched. Leo didn't need magic. He had something this place respected more. Permission. 1 shove, and Ollie's body answered in the only way it could. The ground came fast. Not because he was weak, but because no one stopped it. And in that moment, Ollie learned what NULL really meant. Not everyone watched for fun. 2 people moved without thinking, because they still saw Ollie as a person, not a nickname. Ollie, are you okay? The worst part wasn't the shove. It was the silence that followed. The one person who could stop it looked away like it was normal. He didn't fight back. He didn't give them a scene. He just stood up and walked away with the dust still clinging to his name. Ollie didn't say a word. He just looked at Leo. A single glance, quiet, steady, like he was finally remembering the face. Leo didn't mind being feared. He didn't mind being hated. But being looked at, like an equal, that was unforgivable. They didn't chase him right away. They waited, like hunters at a gate. Because the best fights happen where no one's watching. In the alley, there were no teachers, no crowd, no rules, just fists. And the kind of silence that teaches you what the world really allows. He walked beside the river like nothing happened, but every step pulled at the bruises. The water kept moving forward, and he wondered when he would, too. He stood at the door and rehearsed a normal face, not to fool strangers, but to protect the people inside from seeing what the world did to him. He tried to walk past it, but his sister saw his face and asked, "What is that?" In one glance, she knew everything, and even his best lie couldn't sound normal in her ears. She didn't ask for the full story. She just brought him to her room and started cleaning the bruises. And in her mind, one thought kept repeating, "Even if the world won't accept you, I'll stay by your side." The house sounded normal again. A warm voice called them to dinner, like nothing had happened. And Ollie followed, holding his pain the way he held his breath. At the table, warmth filled the house. Laughter, plates, familiar voices. And Ollie smiled, small and careful, as if a bruise could be hidden by a normal dinner. He laughed with them. He nodded at the right moments. But under the table, his hand tightened, holding a cup like it was the only thing keeping him from breaking. His father noticed. Not the story, just the mark left behind. And in that quiet look, Ollie understood. Some people see pain without needing proof. She didn't give him a lecture. She just tied a red thread around his wrist. Small, simple, like a promise that said, "You're not alone." When the house finally went quiet, the day came back louder. No laughter, no voices, just him and the bruises he couldn't explain. He didn't plan revenge. He didn't dream of power. He just stared at his own hand with tears in his eyes and asked the only question that mattered. Why me? Why does the world hate me? With tears in his eyes, this chapter comes to an end. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this chapter. If you have feedback, good or bad, leave it in the comments. Your words help me improve. Chapter 3, coming soon.